So basically I went to John and just asking for advice. I was like, man, I really want to try to make this happen. What's the first step? What do I need to do? And I had established myself locally, and John said, you need to go in and fish, all the opens as a co-angler for a year and just see how you do. So he basically told me that you should be able to pay for your expenses, while on the road, from cashing checks. Everyone that I associate with back home and stuff knows, my obsession with fishing, and that's pretty much all I do all the time. I had support from everyone but a couple people in my family. They were like, it's a joke, you can't make a living fishing. They thought we kept the fish after the tournaments. They had no idea what it actually entailed. I was actually marshaling at Lake Lanier, and I left a day early and drove to Toledo Bend, and we knew there was some bad weather coming in, and Trades Aldane and Chris, they allowed me to stay with them and practice with her for the Open, and we only got a day of practice in. The weather rolled in, and we took off the last 2 days that we had there for practice. And while we were out there, we knew it was tough. I mean, the weather was cold and inconsistent. We weren't getting many bites, and me and my buddy, we were actually in the parking lot rigging up tackle, and we were like, man, we just hope we catch a fish out there. And I'm gonna say I got lucky and managed to get 2 big bites each day. And I didn't even have a limit day 1. I just had 2 fish, and I lost a giant. And day 2, I ended up catching a 6.5 pounder and 2 more good ones to go with it. It's funny, I actually left the tournament after I weighed in. I took the lead and left. I didn't think it was gonna hold up, so I was on my way to Toledo town to get a beer and some food. And my buddy Caleb Summerall called me, and he's like, dude, they're calling you up in the hot seat, you need to get back. And I was like, oh my gosh, no way. So it played out really well. Before I started working here, I was a welder, and I did commercial buildings like the one we're in right now. And my father got diagnosed with a terminal illness, and me and my older brother had to basically take care of him until the disease ran its course. And I couldn't work my full-time job anymore. So I knew John really well, and I was in here all the time buying stuff and hanging out with the guys. And he was like, man, you can come down and start making jigs for me, when you can, like when you get a break from your dad, you can come down here and make jigs. I thought it was awesome, so I came down here and been here ever since. It's kind of spawned into a different career, and I'm allowed to go chase my dream of becoming a professional fisherman, and I can work here in the off season, and everyone here is extremely supportive of everything that I do, so it's really been a blessing in disguise, to say the least. It was a terrible thing that was going on, but it also spawned something great, so I'm thankful.
Yeah, Andy, he first came around, I was actually looking for a partner at the Clater Lake tournament. They were having a 94.9 deal up there. And it was like $50,000, that you could win. So John was like, yeah, I know this guy Andy, man, he loves to fish. He's a stick up on Clater and this and that, or knows Clater real good, and fishes out of a pontoon, and destroys, just kicks ass up there. And I was like, all right. I said, well, hell, give me his number, and we'll go, we'll go up there and fish it or whatever. So I called Andy, we met up, and I don't think he practiced with me. I went up there and practiced, and I called him and told him about it or anything like this. So, we was pulling in to the tournament, and it was dark. It was like 5:30 in the morning, whatever. And I was like, you ever fished a tournament before? He's like, nah, man, it's my first one. I was like, nice. So I kind of got to be his first tournament. But as soon as we were fishing, he was catching them out the back, and it's, you can always tell, like, if you fish with somebody, they know what they're doing, or they just got that, that sixth sense about, catching fish and, knowing what to throw, when to throw.
It's crazy.
I knew I got the hammer. I knew I got the hammer. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. Put your chesty on. He's on. Bam. Woo.
The guy that kind of took John under his wing, Rick Hawkins, I'm best friends with his son. So we grew up together and I was always around Rick and John. And 2010, I think it was, when the elites were at Smith Mountain Lake, John took me and Lang and Rick down there to the weigh-in, and it blew my mind. I mean, I've never seen ESPN swarm someone. You know, I was like, I didn't know fishing was this big. I mean, I saw it on TV and stuff, but that kind of brought it to a different, had a different perspective on it after that. And John and Sonia are good family friends with my mom and my dad when he was still alive. They were, see each other once a year to Christmas party, and everyone, we live in a small town, so everyone knows everyone. And, I think John's excited to see what's happened, to me in the last year. I think I've come a long ways.
Here's a little fun fact. I love fun facts, so I'm gonna give you one real quick. Jackknife Andy is his name in my phone, and I think he had license tags that said Jackknife on it. So that came from that tournament. I threw him the keys to my truck, and he was back in my truck down the boat, or back in the, getting the trailer, was gonna load the boat. He comes down the boat ramp, and he jackknifed the trailer left, right. He had it upside down. He done like a U-turn. I mean, trying to back the trailer up, and all these people, because it was a lot of people. There was one guy sitting there pointing. I could see him like in the rear view mirror, or in the side mirror, just laughing. And I was like, man, that, most people would be all nervous and stuff like that, and he was just laughing because I was laughing at him, and it was funny. So that's Jackknife Andy. That's how he got that name. But yeah, he's in tune with him for sure. He's a good dude too.
All right, so we just wrapped up the first season. Doing the opens as a co-angler, and next year I'm going out as a boater. And there's a lot of loose ends I haven't tied off yet. I've got to get a boat. I got to sell my boat I have now. Keep working hard, and in the off season, honing my skills the best I can. There's a lot. I don't think I'm going to be able to do both divisions just because of the money. I mean, it basically doubles when you go to the front of the boat. So the goal is just to do the Easterns and put a little more practice time in at each event versus scrambling on all the, if you fish both divisions, you got to scramble. You don't get as much practice. So there's a lot going on. I'm looking forward to seeing what next year offers.